Commander Zethkar had witnessed the subjugation of 47 worlds. Each conquest followed the same pattern: orbital bombardment of key infrastructure, deployment of atmospheric suppressors to weaken the native population, and finally, ground invasion to claim resources. The hegemony's war machine had perfected this process over 3 millennia. Earth should have been conquest number 48. "Initial bombardment complete, Commander," reported Sub-Admiral Vrex from the bridge of the dreadnought Crimson Dominion. "Their primitive satellites are down, and their communication networks are scrambled. Standard procedure indicates they should surrender within 72 hours. Zethkar nodded, his 4 eyes focusing on the blue-green planet below. Intelligence reports had classified Earth's inhabitants as a young species, barely past their atomic age, fractured into competing nation-states still bound to their single world. Their weapons were crude kinetic projectiles and primitive nuclear devices. The conquest would be routine. The first sign something was wrong came on day 2. "Commander, we're detecting unusual seismic activity across the planet's surface," Vrex announced, his voice carrying a note of uncertainty. "Multiple underground detonations, but they're not random. They appear to be coordinated." Through the view screen, Zethkar watched as massive sections of Earth's surface began to slide away, revealing geometric patterns of metal and concrete stretching for kilometers. What he had assumed were natural mountain ranges were transforming, unfolding like mechanical flowers to expose weapon arrays that defied the intelligence reports. "Impossible," he whispered. "Scan those structures." The results made his blood run cold. Energy signatures that rivaled their own dreadnoughts. Weapon systems that belonged to a civilization centuries more advanced than Earth was supposed to be. And emerging from hidden bunkers across every continent, millions of humanoid figures in advanced combat armor. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," the communications officer announced. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a human female in military dress. Her eyes held a coldness that Zethkar recognized from his own mirror, the gaze of someone who had seen too much war. "I am General Sarah Chen, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Coalition," she began, her voice steady despite the orbital bombardment her world had just endured. "For 300 years we have prepared for this day. We have watched your empire consume world after world, and we have learned. We have adapted. We have evolved." Behind her, through reinforced windows, Zethkar could see massive structures rising from the earth, tower-like weapons that seemed to bend space around them. "You see, Commander Zethkar," Chen continued, and the hegemony leader's tertiary heart skipped a beat at the casual use of his name. "We've been monitoring your communications since you entered our solar system. We know your tactics. We know your weaknesses. And we know something else. You've never faced humanity before." The first salvo from Earth's hidden arsenal tore through the hegemony's outer perimeter ships like tissue paper. Weapons that seemed to manipulate gravity itself, crushed battlecruisers into metallic spheres. Energy beams that ignored conventional shielding carved through armor plating as if it were mere illusion. "Retreat to safe distance," Zethkar commanded. But even as his ships pulled back, Earth's weapons reached out across impossible distances. A frigate simply vanished, consumed by a sphere of absolute darkness. Another found its crew aging decades in seconds before crumbling to dust. "How?" Vrex gasped, staring at the tactical display showing their fleet's systematic destruction. General Chen's image remained on their screen, unfazed by the violence erupting around her planet. "You want to know our secret, Commander? It's simple. We are a species born from conflict. We've spent our entire history perfecting the art of killing each other. When we finally united, we turned that expertise outward." She gestured to the chaos visible through the view screen. "Every weapon you see was designed by minds that understood warfare not as conquest, but as survival. We've never had the luxury of easy victories. Every human alive today is descended from those who fought, who adapted, who refused to die quietly." The Crimson Dominion shuddered as something impacted its shields, but the sensors showed nothing had been fired at them. "We weaponized our creativity," Chen continued. "Our paranoia, our capacity for absolute, uncompromising violence when threatened. You picked a fight with a species that learned to kill before it learned to walk among the stars. Zethkar watched his mighty fleet, 47 worlds worth of accumulated military might, being systematically dismantled by weapons that shouldn't exist. Human ships began emerging from hidden lunar bases, sleek craft that moved with impossible agility, crewed by beings who had turned warfare into an art form. Commander, Vrex's voice was barely a whisper. Long-range sensors are detecting similar hidden installations on every world we've conquered. They've been there all along, waiting. The revelation hit Zethkar like a physical blow. For centuries, while the hegemony had conquered primitive worlds, humanity had been seeding them with sleeper agents, observers, weapons, learning, planning, preparing for the day when their hunters would finally come to Earth. General Chen's smile was nothing like the diplomatic expression Zethkar had seen from other conquered species. It was the smile of a predator who had finally cornered her prey. You wanted to break humanity, Commander. Congratulations. You've succeeded. Her eyes glittered with something that might have been amusement. You've broken our restraint. Our mercy. Our willingness to remain hidden while you butchered innocents across the galaxy. The last thing Commander Zethkar saw before the bridge erupted in fire was Earth itself. No longer a blue jewel, but a fortress world bristling with weapons that rewrote the fundamental laws of physics. A planet that had spent 3 centuries preparing for war, populated by 7 billion apex predators who had finally found a worthy enemy. Humanity's dark arsenal had been unlocked, and the galaxy would never be the same.